when you watch most movies, right? Especially Nigerian movies, the love stories when it's let's say Eba and Eyo. Most of the beginning of the love stories, the lovers tend to hate themselves. They dislike themselves, either being a rich man's daughter or a princess who hate this gate man or house help, and all of a sudden they become lovers, or a prince who hate this, who is so arrogant and hate this lady or girl who is among the servants of the palace. But later on, they tend to be lovers. When I was reading your book, right, I got to meditation 8, and it was talking about lovers tend to hate themselves later, or those who quote unquote be enemies later on tend to love themselves. Why did you use that as a meditation, and how can we like explain this particular meditation to the public? Ladies and gentlemen, this is TRK Multimedia. This is TRK Discoveries. If today happen to be the first time that you are watching us and you've not subscribed to our channel, please do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. Today, of course, we have Mr. Ajimambosu here with us, the author and writer of the Meditations of a Christian Saint. This is available on Amazon. It's $15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, $15. We have this hard copy, we have audio, and we have ebook.
Yeah, that's true.
As well. All right. Okay, Mr. Ajman, you're welcome once again.
Thank you, my brother, and thank you, viewers, for joining us yet again. And subscribe, like, share, and we'll be happy to come to your way every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. This meditation is kind of an observation of reality in life as we see it. So it talks about observing that haters, people that hate each other, can find love. And then people that even love themselves and get married can still become enemies. And it talks about how it is effort, it is work that we have to put into relationship or to keep into loving each other continuously. So yes, I think it dawns on me in writing that meditation after observing how human interaction and relationships, and I put it in a meditation for anybody that is also in a relationship, in love, or hate each other, to know that it's possible. If you're in an enemy situation right now, it can be possible to resolve that situation, make peace, and become lovers in the future. And then it's possible that people that have found love, as we know by divorce rates, that they can also divorce.
Okay. So how is that possible if you have to take it one by one? Let's take it from those who are enemies becoming lovers later on. How should that be? Is it because of the excessive love, or excessive what do we call it? Um Excessive craving, if I should put it that way, for each other, that makes them pretend to be enemies, or for real, they don't like themselves, but later on they find out that they love themselves.
So I can see people are enemies in terms of differences in cultural background, misunderstanding, prejudice. We can also talk about the extreme racism. There are things that brings people, set people apart, and divide people. So we can look at that places and say that is where we can find people becoming enemies. And then also we can also talk about being enemies because of survival. So people can be friends, and if there is something that one do or the other does that it will kind of becomes a threat, then definitely that's where they begin to go separate ways, or one becomes an enemy if they betray the trust, or there's something that will happen or perceived to be happening that will cause people to be enemies. So that is, I mean, a reason why we can talk about people becoming enemies or hating each other. And hate, as we also know, I wouldn't say it's an evil spirit, right? But it is something that your principles, your values that you stand for. If something is going against those principles, you begin to have some kind of hatred
Mhm.
towards those things that goes against those principles. So
Mhm.
people can also form such hatred because somebody went against their principles, their values, and their morals, fortitudes that they have. So these are ways that we can say people develop hatred among each other. But the whole meditation is also saying that there can be moments, there can be a time where today people are enemies or they hate each other. But since these are things that happens that makes people hate themselves, these things they are removed, people then find love, they find happiness, they find joy, they see beyond the differences, and then they unite or find common grounds, can find understanding, wisdom. These things can bring people beyond their differences, beyond the hurt, the pain,
Mhm.
beyond the betrayal, for them to come back and unite as they possibly become couples.
Mhm.
So yeah, beyond every hatred that people have or any divisions that we have among people, there can always be a common ground where people can still come together, unite,
Mhm.
and possibly find love.
Could it be? I remember. Let me tell you a story. When I was, growing up and beginning to find love. Like beginning to have a crush on, a girl. I realized probably the kind of life that girl was in, I didn't like it. But according to her, she wasn't in that kind of love. Life, but she was just a free person who is free with everybody, and she liked to play with boys. So maybe if we are outside, you may think that, oh, where do open mema or open mema grow, that kind of thing. But I realized that my behavior was because of jealousy. As I dislike her. I didn't want to see her anywhere, but I like her. I was like kind of jealous of anybody who comes around her. Like I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want. I didn't. I won't pack away. Ask him. Won't pay lady we ask him. Sir, you don't. I mean, who am I before? But later on, I realized that I love her, and she was bold enough to come close to me and ask why I don't like her, and I told her straight away because I like her, and she was laughing, and I said that time I said, "Do you want me to stop playing with her?" And say yes. You see, that was so funny. So, could it be because of that's why I asked excessive love or excessive craving for, for each other that will make you dislike somebody in the beginning, but later on you find out that, oh, not knowing I love or I like the person. So you become best of friends.
Well, you're looking at pinpointed kind of attraction
Mm.
at the individual levels, right? My initial kind of submission was in general, where a group of
Okay.
people, a particular group where we find people to hate, right? But in that level where we kind of have affections towards another that we normally call love,
Mhm.
sometimes it's biological. I mean, our bodies, the way they are made of, right?
Mhm.
There are some people that you kind of draw closer to more. Some
Mhm.
kind of people, some will say my taste, right?
Mhm.
Some level of uh, attractions towards a particular people, a particular group of people. I mean, when we are talking about individual targeted love, right? So that is something when you, for your instance, you're looking at jealousy around that lady that makes you show outwardly that you are kind of expressing the jealousy in a form of hatred, but it wasn't
Mhm.
hatred. There
It
was no way.
wasn't.
Yeah, there's no way you would harm or do
No, no,
anything
no. There's no
against
way.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just a way you were expressing the love within,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
But we are talking about that kind of hatred where I wouldn't say the extreme, but it's a place where people just don't want to do it, have anything to do with you, but for some reason, for some
You find
circumstances,
yourself in love.
and at the end of the day, along the line, things happen and they find love, right? And yes, I think it's important that we really understand that from my understanding, that love, as we define, is based on survival. I
Hmm.
always go back to my law of survival.
Hmm.
to the extent that we may show affection, right? I mean, we love people, but in terms of intimacy, in terms of marriage, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different thing. But when it comes to us loving, building relationship, trust, and all that, it still boils down to our survival. And even as we mentioned that those that love themselves get married, and when there's a threat, when one betrays, when one becomes an kind of the foul, or kind of go against the principles, the values, the things that you hold dear that defines you, you kind of, for some reason, human love just disappear. And that is why I always say, if something is very natural for you to do, there wouldn't be a law or a command to do. So when Jesus say love each other, that means love God. That means there is a resistance, there is opposition. It's not necessarily a natural cause of you to do. You need to cultivate, you need to work on it, put effort in it to make it work. Because if not that, then we'll not ask you to do, right. There wouldn't be a command to do if that comes natural.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
I don't know. Have you loved before? Have you fallen in love before? How did you meet your first girlfriend? How did you meet your wife or your husband? Did you just love yourself, or you kind of hate each other or dislike each other? And later on, you found out that you are in love. Maybe you can drop your comment at the comment section and tell us what you think about this topic. And if you've had experience, you tell us it's true. Mr. Ajiman here is enlightening us about, have you met such experience before? Someone being like, I don't like her, but later on you find out you like her anyway.
Well, expressing our love, we are commanded to love all, right? As a Christian, as a saint, we are commanded to love all. So it's always the challenge as to going beyond the normal, right? Where you're bridging from I like you, I'm fond of you, I want to be your friend, to having something to do with the person, right? That is a whole different level. But in the normal way, seeing people, liking people, loving them as human beings, and drawing near to them, that is something that we all work on to do towards other human beings, irrespective of their background, their religion, their culture, as commanded by Jesus, trying to love them. But there is that in terms of stereotype, in terms of where we are coming from. There's always something within you that kind of builds a barrier between you and people expressing kind of love, unconditional. There's always that kind of barrier, and I think it's a good thing in a way to protect you, because in some sense there are some people loving them is hard. I mean, their attitude, and some of them is not their fault, right? It's where they are coming from that has made them who they are. But regardless if your fault is not your fault, for by the law of survival, loving you, I can love you, do what I have to do, because love goes in expression. I have to express it that I love you. But to some level of boundaries, I would not let you cross unless I build a trust, right? The trust shouldn't be handed out like love, right? I love you, but I may not trust you enough, right? That is boundaries. You setting the right boundaries, because it's not everybody. We are commanded to love. As I said, it's work. It's not. It doesn't come natural. So you are
Okay.
commanded to do it, but it's not everybody that you can love at the same level like your wife, the same level as your mom, the same level as your father. And I know theologians or scholars who tell you different types of love, but I know if it's not like God's love, every human love you may define is still based on survival.
Let's look at lovers who tend to be enemies. Previous ones we looked at enemies who tend to be lovers. How can you fall in love with someone like married people? Married people, couples, they fall in love, they sleep in the same room, see your nakedness, raise kids together, 1, 2, 3 kids, and all of a sudden they turn enemies. Not only want to divorce, other partners want to rip the other one of the happiness, of properties, of anything to see you suffer to the extent of even cursing you. How did that happen?
Yeah, it happens, right? It happens, and even as we're speaking now, there might be couples trying to file their divorce papers. There are those that marry within 48 hours, they're divorcing. And
Mm,
again, as I said, it's because man's love is based on survival,
mhm,
right? No matter how the person may express it, and of course, as we also talk about the divine love, the love of God, which if you have the Holy Ghost, is shared abroad in your heart. You love till you die, unconditional. Like Jesus, even on the cross, was still saying, "Father, forgive them."
mhm.
But if it were me, I may come down from that cross and whack
And say, Father,
somebody
curse them.
and whack somebody's face before I go back on the cross and continue. So yes, so there is that divine love which we know is ability from God to do. But beyond that, as human beings as we are on this earth, is still survival. When the object of your love becomes a threat,
Mm,
I mean, some people continue to love you, but not enough to live with you, to marry you, or to stay with you.
okay.
So there are those that will still have that. Um, I mean, the chemical, in terms of chemical, body, biological chemistry, right?
Mm,
That will still be there. I mean, we know of people that divorce their exes, they still meet around and
mm,
they sleep around, or they still connect one way or the other.
mm,
That is body and chemical kind of biological thing and psychological thing. But we are talking about the love which people used to marry. And at the end of the day, as we talk about on Saturdays
mhm.
in our kind of live discussions we have on Saturdays, we know that love is not the only reason to marry,
Mm,
right? It's rather unfortunate, right, that we have so many people getting into marriage because of the biological chemistry that they have between them. And
mhm.
if you're talking of biological chemistry, it can be induced. You can take drugs, you can take medicine. Today you are high on on the chart for biological chemistry. Tomorrow you are low
You're
on the
low.
biological chemistry. Do you divorce because of biological chemistry? So yeah,
Yeah.
we don't base love affections in, in what we call infatuations or um
Fluctuations, yeah.
you don't based
It
on
moves up and down.
ups and downs. You don't just marry because of that. There are other factors that you need to really look at, other than just having, because that same chemistry you have, you will definitely, I mean, 8 billion of the people of the world, you meet another person that you will still have that same chemistry.
Mhm,
Yeah, so we don't marry in terms of chemistry, and it's unfortunate to say the movies, as you mentioned, really play a very bad role in amplifying this concept and this belief that, oh, I meet somebody, I feel for the person, so I have to marry the person.
mhm.
And that is a problem. And another thing is people also think you feel something for the person, you might have to do something with the person, which is also wrong. I mean, in terms of keeping our body holy and pure, you
Mm.
can't just connect with anybody because you feel there is
You feel like chemistry.
chemistry.
Hmm.
You meet somebody, we have chemistry, so let's go and do something. So yeah, so yeah, uh, because of uh, I would say survival threats. When somebody you marry, you're in love with, they become a threat to your
Hmm.
survival. Um, then our love in tends to, as man, our love tends to diminish.
Wow. So let's look at the enemies tend to be to lovers. How can we like turn that kind of action if you know that you love this person, or if you know that you have a crush on this person, instead of becoming enemies? How can we go straight away, or it's just a natural course that takes place, that hey, we don't like each other for real, we don't like each other, but along the line you tend to be lovers, or you tend to like each.
So yes, again, when we are looking at people from afar,
Mm,
sometimes we see so many differences, or we don't see so much till we come close to the people.
mm,
So I know of a saying that when you put even haters together in a room, you come back to find them as friends or something
mm,
like that. Yeah.
mm.
So sometimes when you are close to the person, you get to see the person
More.
more. You get to see the better side, the beauty, all those things that you were seeing from outside, you've heard from
Hmm.
people, they are not what it seems to be, right?
Okay.
So yes, so people can initially hate themselves
For
for,
real.
yeah, for real,
Okay.
and that is not the same as the stereotype racism or any inherent kind of hatred that we have because of our
Mm,
divisions. That's different, right? Like
okay.
some people just hate some group of people, right? In that sense, it's not a matter of like, oh, I found a girl, I have a crush and I want to, right? Those kind of hatred is different. And those ones too, this same statement encompasses them, that maybe from afar, maybe because of where you're coming from, that's where you've developed a hatred for the
Hmm.
people or the person. But when you get close to, you find out, oh, these people are not even as I've been told all this while.
Hmm.
So yes, people, especially when you are talking about individuals, like you meet somebody, or for some reason you just don't like the person. It's sometimes, as I said, it is because of where you're coming from, right?
Hmm.
But as you get to know the person, you walk with the person, you work with the person, and then you begin to know, oh, no, it's different. I mean, that this person is, I mean, sweet. And then yeah, sometimes the beauty, our beauty as human beings is not just physical. It's not just physical. Some people are very, very beautiful at heart, that it takes you getting close to them to really discover such a beauty, and you be wowed by such a beauty that a
Hmm.
person have, the light that is upon their life.
Hmm. All right. Before I allow you to go, how can we, as human, live in this community, this society, and what can we do to, show love? What can we do to show affection to each other? What can we do to, you know, express our love, if I should put it that way better, express our love to each other instead of, other way, like hatred. I know it's natural, hatred or whatever, it's natural, but what can we do to control ourselves when the urge comes for us to maybe dislike or hate this person, so that in this community, in this society, we can live in harmony?
I think it is a safety mechanism. It's
Mm,
kind of a survival,
mm,
that things or people you perceive to become a threat to you, you show kind of hatred,
mm,
maybe for the lack of a better word, right? Not
mhm,
necessarily hate the person, but
mhm,
you just don't draw closer nigh. You are not attracted to those people. So
mm,
that is to be said. And another thing we are noticing is that the Bible says love. That means it's not natural, right? It
mm,
doesn't come natural because of our existence and the things around us. And then two, we do have things in places, right,
mm,
which I wouldn't say necessarily others engineered. It could be,
mhm,
right? Some over years. So let's take for instance in Africa during those colonization time, when you have the British, the France, the Portuguese, the Germans. After they've divided Africa,
mhm,
it was very important that they keep the people separated, and
mhm,
and one way of keeping them separated is to cause them to hit each other,
mm,
right? And sometimes you can see in society this thing is still perpetuated, where we do have a clash of religion, ideology, politics,
mm,
amplified by either the social media, misinformation, disinformation,
mm,
propagandas, just to keep people separated.
mm,
So yes, these are things that we have kind of a fight with. But beyond all these differences, right? Beyond all differences and our kind of instincts to survive,
mhm,
we are still called. We are still called to look beyond the differences, right?
mhm,
When we don't just have to stereotype, we just don't have to approach people with animosity, but rather be open, right? Be
Mm-hmm.
open-minded. Allow yourself to learn. And as I said in the meditation, to those that are couples, to those in a relationship, it takes work. If even the person close to you have to work at it to fall in love all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then how much more it would be for people far away,
Mm.
right? So even if, as I said, if somebody's close to you, you have to work to stay in love,
Mm.
then somebody far, it will take greater work to
Okay.
stay in love.
Okay.
So yes, so it is very important that married couples should not see it as said that we are married, so you have nowhere to go, I have nowhere to go, we are forced, we're supposed to love each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not natural. We got to work at it. And,
Okay.
and the divorce rates tells us that if you fail to work to stay in love,
Mm-hmm.
you lose your marriage or you lose your relationship.
If you fail to work hard to stay in love, you lose your relationship. Probably next time we're going to look at how to work hard. What when you say work hard, what does it entail? Working hard to okay, if you can maybe give us a brief
Yes,
working
I
hard
mean,
to keep your relationship.
show gratitude, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Show respect, that's two.
Mm-hmm.
And then also understanding that we are all different. You just don't want the person to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing. You just don't want the person to force the person to live up to your idea
Your
of
idea.
who
Mm-hmm.
the person is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Understand from the onset that we are all different. We all
Mm-hmm.
come. We put different. We offer different values to the table.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that I have to give up a compromise on my also principles, my
Mm.
morals, and all that, right? And those
Okay.
are the agreements we come together before we enter into a relationship, right?
Mm.
Beyond just knowing ourselves, hi,
Mm.
friends, and all that. But if you want to enter into relationship, these are fundamental things you all
Mm-hmm.
have to agree
Okay.
before you enter into that dimension of coexistence or relationship, right?
Mm.
But if you are in that relationship, then it's work as in little things you're doing towards, especially as sometimes we use the term "do unto others what you want others to do unto you,"
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes that statement it becomes challenging in the sense that when the person doesn't know what he wants for himself and
Mm-hmm.
what he wants for himself is bad, he still wants you to have a bad stuff. Yeah, so yeah, but little things, gratitude, forgiveness, respect,
Yeah.
and care, right? Caring also is another very important thing. You show care, show. I mean, these are it may not feel much, right? And sometimes in relationship, we feel entitled that because I'm this, you do this. Because you are this, you got to do this. But these are the little things that we do, that especially the caring, because we, as I said, we survival is the first law. So the more you can do for others
Mm.
um to help their survival, right? That is kind of a love that you are showing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajuman Bonsu. And thank you too for being with us. This is TRK Multimedia, and we are on TRK Discovery Shows. If today happened to be the first time that we're watching us, and if you're not subscribed, please do well to subscribe to the channel and share because we have lots for you. Those who love sports, we have TRK Multimedia Sports, and we have TRK Multimedia or TRK Afro Link Diaspora. We have 3 channels. Please do us a favor, go to all the 3 channels and subscribe, and help us to push to the level that where you want us to be. Have you loved before? That is a question I asked you. Have you fallen in love before, or how did yours happen? How did it begin? Did it was it like disliking or hating each other, and later on you turn to be lovers, or you love each other and later on you turn out to be enemies? Drop your comment at the comment section and tell us what your experience are. And this is the Meditations of a Christian Saint. It's a book written by Mr. Ajiman himself, and this is the man himself. It's a book written by Mr. Ajiman Bonsu. So if you don't have a copy, please go to Amazon and purchase a copy. It's just $15. We have electronic version, which is less than $15, right?
Okay.
And we have also the audio version, which is also less than $15. So you choose the one that you want, and equip yourself with more of these meditations. And I believe it's going to help you. Until we meet again another time, hopefully the next time we meet, you get more comment so that we can talk about your questions, your suggestions, and stuff. Until we meet then, I say enjoy the rest of your time. Mr. Hajiman, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And God bless you. You're going to meet again. I love you. So love me the same. Bye-bye.